Hello all, it's unboxing time. Me, I'm a little bit outwinded because I just got done doing the garbage down here in the basement, the 2 litter boxes. I had to bring in kitty litter. I actually brought in, I think it was too heavy for my back, so my back's bothering me. I got a package and another package from Dan. I don't know what the one is, and I'm actually looking forward to doing this because I'm probably going to see if I can restore it. But let me just open this up, get the bags out. Sticker, Quicksilver, Black Panther, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Thank you, Dan. I take the stickers. Oh, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle card. Outmatched. And out of the panel comics is what Dan has. There's Dan's sticker with his daughter. An Aquaman sticker. Now, I'm going to start going through these. I've been going through HE double hockey sticks ever since my daughter got hit by a car. Well, I should say my stepdaughter. And other people posted what happened, because there's actually a video. I actually posted it. I didn't want to post it, but after all the crap started going on, I posted it and just kept it private so my friends and family can see it. And I just said, you know, these other people are making comments like, you deserve to get hit by a car and this and that. So my daughter's been going around what other people have been posting, saying, you know, please take it down. Well, this one lady, she went and posted on it, please take it down. The lady says, my daughter's harassing her. My daughter sent her one message. And then, since my daughter's an addict, my stepdaughter, I should say, is an addict. My daughter's not. And she just, she's been living with us since she's got out of rehab in January. She says, you know, we're trying to get her straightened out. So far, the only bad thing that's happened is this. This one guy is blaming her for the death of his sister on overdose. And my daughter, back when she was 12, was friends with the chief of police's daughter, and the chief said to her, your daughter wasn't around for this overdose. Your daughter's, you know, not, you mean your sister's, you know. So my stepdaughter wasn't even, you know, involved with it, but the guy's blaming her. Instead of blaming the daughter that was an addict herself, blame something else. Blame someone else. Like if my stepdaughter OD'd, it's on her. She's the one who chose that. That's the way I look at it. Just like this car accident. She didn't choose to get hit by a car. The driver wasn't paying attention. According to her, the driver read the red light. But if you watch the video, his lights come on after, his brake lights come on after he hits her. And I know off the bat, too, he wasn't going the speed limit. I mean, she got 85% out of the way. And they're like, oh, well, yeah, my daughter's getting charged for jaywalking by the cop. But today I got to take it to the attorney because the attorney said, I got a case. So she's got a case. So I'm like, okay, fine. I'm going to do what I can to help her. But I know the last time she had $60,000, she blew within 2 months. She bought her ex-boyfriend a Jeep. Of course, she put it in his name, so she basically pissed that money away. I mean, you know, you can lead a person, you know, a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. I can control what I do. I can't control her. I can't control my daughter. I can't control my wife, my mother-in-law, my 2 grandkids. That's up to what they do. But I can control me. I don't go online looking for drama. In fact, most of the time I get the drama, I basically say something and I hit the ignore button after that. So I get what's off my chest and done. I walk on. So, I start with the comic books. I got Defenders of Ditron City, number 5, and number 6. Avengers 2, number 2. Uncanny Avengers number 1, GameStop exclusive cover. The New Avengers number 2. I get done with this video, I gotta bring the dogs in. The Uncanny Avengers number 27 variant edition, Venomized Villains. A-Force number 2. Nova 13-point-now variant. Warlock number 1. Avengers, X-Men, Eternals, Avengers. What number? Don't see a number, just show the cover. Thor, Blood Oath, number 4. Slingers, issue 0. Quasar, issue 30. Marvel Age number 34. G.I. Joe. Saul Bronsky remembered. Marvel Age 22. Astonishing X-Men trade. Avengers 137. 168. Well, I got 2 more in the 100 since I have 2 to 3 work on after that. Journey into Mystery 514. X-Men number 83. Generation X number 65. Wolverines number 12. All new Wolverine Venomized Villain number 24. Death of Wolverine, Deadpool, Captain America number 1. This is a second printing. All new X-Men 40. The Logan Legacy, part of the Death of Wolverine, so number 2. Defenders of Ditron City, number 1. Let me put them with the other ones. Ditron City, number 2. And number 3. Exo Man of War. Pre-order edition. I think this is issue 2. Cool Destiny New York flyer. Star Blazers number 2 from Comico. Star Blazers number 3. Number 4. Star Blazers number 1 from Comico, probably a different series. Number 2. Spaceship Yamamoto. Number 3. Number 4. Stalkers number 3. Harvey Comics Hot Stuff Giant Size number 1. Wildcats number 28. Astro City The Dark Age book 4. Astro City The Dark Age number 2. Number 3. This is number 4. Number 1. This is I don't know if this, I'm going to have to look, see if these are different series. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Now, I got Grim Fairy Tales Day of the Dead number 1, I guess, the Magician Tarot cover. Van Helsing versus the Mummy of Amun-Ra, number 2. Number 3. Actually, I quit pretty much buying a lot of, probably bought a lot of the Xenoscope stuff. They jacked the price up to $4, and of course, tons of different variants. So I was like, nah, I'm never gonna finish any of the stuff. But when I get them for $1, fine. And number 6. And then I got blank cover variant Van Helsing versus Robin Hood. So eventually I can draw on it. Which I should start clearing off my drafting table because I got stuff I have to paint. Now, what did I do with it? I put it over here. Now it's the Fragile. Fragile. This is not a lamp light. And Dan mentioned me, asked me if I wanted it. I'm like, yes, yeah. You can hear it rattling. But, you really wrapped this good. Another bag. But this is a blast from the past, no matter what. World's greatest superheroes, the Hulk. You can see his one leg's detached and his one arm is detached. But from being an original figure in the packaging from 1979 when I was 9 years old, you cannot go wrong. I'm going to see if I can get him the bubble off the card. I'm going to actually look and see if I can fix him, restore him, and see what kind of, and keep him in the box, and put him in the box and put him on a stand and display him. Of course, I have one that I restored already, but his arm was broken, so I put a freaking Phillips head screw in it. All I had to do then, I'll have to do with that one is paint it, and that's loose. These things did have a tendency, the plastic, to come apart at the joints. But I love it. Thank you, Dan. This is beautiful. Out of all my favorites, I love Hulk. I would love to get my hands on, since I have the Spider Doom Buggy and I have the Spider helicopter, I'd love to get my hands on Spider-Man, Iron Man, Green Lantern, and Green Arrow. They're like my 4 Mego favorites. And this I'm just going to put on my drafting table. But it's one of these things that's like, I wish I had, I made, what my dad makes, and I can actually spend about 20% of that. Because right now I spend close to 10%. And of course, sometimes I spend more than that. My wife's always yelling at me. But over the years, you know how I buy. I'm very frugal. I'm very point-oriented. And also, too, I didn't finish Web of Spider-Man. I'm like, I couldn't believe it. That collector has me down for another one of the variant that was a newsstand without the hologram. Thought I had it. I went, started getting all the books ready. Wrote down all the keys. Was going through them all, make sure they matched up. And lo and behold, I'm missing one. After I just bought another variant that was, newsstand, not foiled. And of course, I'm missing that one. So that means I'm getting it because it's the different cover. I'm not worried about, like I said, the J.C. Penney reprints, the price variance. I'm worried about like just the different, like, some things, because the one had a hologram, one didn't. So I like to have like those two. But I need one issue for Web of Spite to finish Volume 1. I actually have to get bags and boards. I mean, I was up there the other day. I posted, I think, 7 or 8 full series runs I finished. Welcome to Trinity. Jesus. It shows you how much I remember what ones I did. Code Flesh, which that one, even in the comic collector, it doesn't show it all. So I'm going to have to go through it and actually manually put them all in under Code Flesh from Image. Because they did a thing where it was doubled, and of course issue number 2 wasn't a double-sided issue. It actually came out with 2 separate issues for the 2 different stories. And then back to 3, it was a double-sided issue. And I'm like, I mean, it threw me off. I mean, like, trying to get that series done. And then issue 4 was a one-shot on the opposite side, and 5, 6, 7, and 8 were a different story. So it's like, Kung Fu Gorilla. I'm like, okay. I mean, it just like threw me for a loop. And I actually have to go through and there's all these little ones I have. But then you go on eBay, and as you're trying to get these series by one, you run into like this one lady she had 3 issues I needed, 3 single issues. I put them on. She does not combine shipping. The issue was $1, $6 to ship. $3 for the books, $18 to ship. I'm like, no. I don't know how she even stays in business on eBay. And one guy, it's like, oh yeah, here's our dollar issues, right? It's $6.99 to ship and it's 75 cents every issue. And I'm like, well, if you're buying an issue, the issues come out to $1.75. I'm like, no. Because if you buy, it just keeps tacking onto it, and it still ends up being your shipping is more than the books you're buying. Way more. So I'm like, no. You got to watch out. One guy was, once you hit a certain amount, like I forgot what he said, if you buy so many books, it's automatic free shipping. So I'm like, oh, that's great. I bought from him. Another guy was, after so many books, it's $14.99. That's for a mailer like Dan gets me the, what is it, these things, priority mailbox. That you don't mind, especially if you buy a lot of books. It's the stuff where they freaking nickel and dime you that ends up, adding up. That's why I like buying from Dan. Dan has good prices. He's a good guy. He works with you. And he sends you stuff that, and I thank you, Dan. I really love this. I knew he was sending me this because he sent me a message on Messenger. I love to meet him in just like I met Hippie and Minsky. I still like to go visit them again, but everything just goes on. I still have to finish the back of my bar. I got one shelf over here. I want to get ready to start putting all the stuff underneath my air hockey table, which is all photographs and pictures. I want to start buying photo albums, get all that stuff and stack it in there. And then what's underneath the air hockey table could be stored for like board games or whatever. So get stuff out of the way and opens up a lot of stuff, because eventually I want nothing in front of my baseball cards or my non-sports cards. I want to be able to, get them, take them out, look at them. Then start working on my cabinet going up, where I'm going to be moving you can see behind me the laser desk copy, scanner, fax. I want to move that behind the bar. And then coming down, there's a hole. Originally I was going to put a fish tank there, but I was like, no, I don't want the trouble in case something ever happens. Because in my house, like the kids smashed 10 of my Batman. I never said nothing. I went up in the attic the other day, the books. I was coming down. I looked over. There's my Blackhawk picture. Frame smashed. Of course, nobody does it. I'm like, what are you going to do? Like I said, you can only control what you do. You can't control what other people do. Took a deep breath. Went, relaxed. I'll just go to Walmart, buy another one, come back home, pop that out, put the other one in, and be done. You can't handle that, it's like, It's funny because my daughter expects me to buy her Xbox off of her. And I said to her, I said, I should get your Xbox for free since you smashed all my... Well, you always blame me. I'm like, well, who was the one that went up in the attic? You. Who's to blame? You. But of course, my wife... I can understand why my kids are spoiled rotten. Because my wife is like, I say something, my wife says the opposite. It's like, the parenting thing is never right. It's the opposite, you know. It's like, so... Then my dad's like, I don't know how you manage to live like that. I'm like, Dad, don't even get me going. You just... Because I'm always saying I'm going to end up having a heart attack or a stroke from my living conditions with dealing with the people I live with. It's like, you know, hey, I need the wash brought up. 4 days later, the wash is still sitting there. So I'm like, hey. But I'm still plugging away, still doing, you know, people ask me, well, why? Because I enjoy it. I love collecting the comics. I just don't like the fact that, you know, new issues are $5-6 a book. Well, you know, people like this. I'm like, well, that's fine. Let them spend the money. But, you know, as a thing for overall money-wise, you know, I want to leave something for, you know, my kids, even though they don't treat me right. But I still want to leave something that said, this is what my dad did, and this is what my dad loved. Or my grandkids. And if they don't want it, I don't want them losing all the money I put into it. I would like to see them get something out of it. You know, when you see the books at $5 and then a couple, you know, 10 years later, it's $1. Well, what are you going to really sell it for then? Right? If you're buying it for $1 now, you know, that's right there is the bottom, you know, line, no matter what. And like I always tell people, like, you know, they're like, oh, what about slabbing? I'm like, will you slab a novel? No, nobody slabs novels. You know, and all the art you're slabbing that you're missing out on seeing inside a comic book is also another thing. I'm surprised the artists, like the comic book artists, don't even say something like, you know, all the work I've done to put that book together, and you slab it, all you see is whoever the cover artist is, and it might not even be the guy who did the book. And then the answer to rebuttal me is like, well, you can buy the digital copy and see it. I'm like, I don't want a digital copy. You know, there's always something to say for a tangible that you hold it in your hand. Like they're coming out with digital figures. What? Who wants a digital figure? I don't. You know, it's different if you play a game and you're... And a lot of times I say something, I make a broad statement like about, you know, these battle games where people can buy the best weapons. Yeah, Fortnite you don't buy you can buy skins. Yeah, I understand that. But also too, I also said they have hacks. Playing Fortnite, bullets should not go through walls. And I've watched my daughter and my grandson get shot through a rock. Not by a grenade that was thrown by them, actually bullet. You know, there are things as aimbot, which gives somebody a long distance, you know, cheat. And I mean, it's hard. Like when I play World of Warships, I've gotten torpedoes go through mountains, and I've seen that. And their thing was you have to get screen capture. I'm like, well, I have nothing to get a screen capture. By the time I friggin', you know, report it, it's like, you know, the game's already over with. So, you know, it's like you have to catch it when it happens, or you don't catch it at all. But I tell my daughter too about this stuff with my stepdaughter. Just ignore them, move on. Like, you know, just like when they say this stuff, I either delete the post, ignore them, or block them. Because there's no point on feeding into it. Because you can sit there and have 100% valid point and argument, and you're still going to get people that will never, ever admit they're wrong. I'll admit I was wrong about some things. Like, I admit that, okay, it's not Fortnite that, you know, better weapons, but there are hacks. You know, aimbot was a big one, you know, and I'm sure there's, you know, more than that. I don't play Fortnite anymore. I gave up because all the money, my daughter's got over $1,000 into it. I'm like, I told her, I said, all the money you stuck into that, do you know you could have had 3 game systems you could have bought? I probably had like $100 in just for like the Marvel, Star Wars skins and DC skins. I'm like, you know, the money that they're raking in is ridiculous. for these skins. And I'm like, in fact, too, somehow on the Xbox, I'm getting charged a subscription for the thing. And I even told Lexi and Keegan I don't want the subscription service for Fortnite anymore. I don't play it, so therefore I don't want it. I'm not paying $13 a month for it, or $12 a month, or whatever the hell it is anymore. I mean, that adds up. 12 times 12, $144 a year. I'd rather have $144 for something else. I mean, I'm not getting an Xbox X. I'm not getting a PS5, and I'm pretty much done. I'm just going to work on older systems. I still got to get a Sega Master System. I still got to get a 3DO. I need to find a Laserdisc player that has a karaoke function. What else do I need? A Wii U. Sega Master System. I'm thinking about an Odyssey. And what's the other one? My brain is going blank. 3DO. I'm trying to think of the systems I have the games up there. 3DO, Wii U, Sega Master System. I do have some stuff for an Atari 400, which on a Commodore 64. So I'm like, I had a Commodore 64. It got lost in my brother's garage, caught fire. I had everything. I had the monitor, I had the keyboard, cassette player, floppy disk drive, dot matrix printer, the whole kit and caboodle. Thank God I got some of the games. I still have games, like I have the Hulk Quest Probe, I think Spider-Man Quest Probe for it. I have the Transformers game for it. Which, if I can find one cheap one of these days, maybe I will get that. Hook that up. I think there was the Atari. Was it the Jaguar? I'm not sure though. I'd rather go with the older games. I like playing the older games better because it's just like you against the computer. I do still play World of Warships right now. I'm working on the Japanese, British, and German fleets. Because right now it just takes forever to build up money, the cash, the credits to get the ships for Tier 7 and 8 for the United States. Because I have all the Tier 6s. Just that, was it 8 or 9 million credits for Tier 7s? I don't even remember anymore because I stopped and moved to the next one. Because it just like takes forever. But that's it for this edition. And as always, I thank you guys for viewing and subscribing.